Hello to all my dear followers and welcome back to Whispers of Turkish Stars. If you're new here, a very warm greeting to you as well. I'm thrilled you've joined us in this cozy corner where we unpack the most fascinating details from the world of Turkish entertainment. And today, get ready, because as the title hinted, we're diving into something that has quietly shocked many, the reaction of Ozan Akbaba to Sinem Ünsal. That's right. Two immensely beloved figures whose paths have crossed in meaningful ways, two talents admired not only for their craft, but also for their presence beyond the screen. We're going to break down a moment that sparked murmurs, debates, and a flood of curious eyes. Before we begin, a small reminder: subscribing to Whispers of Turkish Stars is the best way to ensure you never miss a video. It's free, it supports us more than you know, and it keeps this community vibrant. To those who've already joined, thank you for the loyalty, the kind messages, and for making this journey worthwhile. Now, let's step into the charged space of glances, words, professionalism, and perhaps something more between Ozan Akbaba and Sinem Ünsal. They've shared the frame and select appearances in joint projects that made fans dream of longer screen time together. When they did, the chemistry hit like a spark carried by a steady breeze, confident, natural, unforced. Viewers felt it. The industry took notice. And the buzz hasn't stopped since. But beyond the set, what's the dynamic? What happens when the clapperboard comes down and real life hums back in? Today's focus promises an unexpected reaction, and that's exactly what we're going to examine: the small details, the plausible readings, and the impact on an audience that watches not only with their eyes, but with their hearts. For context, let's talk about who we're dealing with. Ozan Akbaba is renowned for intensity. The sort that doesn't need raising a voice to command a room. He has that inward focus, the actor's instinct to go quiet and then pierce the moment with a single look. Elegance without effort. Precision without show. Sinem Ünsal brings a different current: warmth, intelligence, a candid brightness that translates into calm power on screen. With her, softness and resolve coexist. Together, they can map complex emotions with subtle shifts that only seasoned performers can sustain. So when we say there's anticipation around Ozan's surprising reaction to Sinem, we're not reaching. These two have long had a reputation for mutual admiration grounded in craft and carried by respect. So what reaction are we talking about? We looked deeply: old interviews, public appearances, backstage glimpses, social media crumbs. And especially Ozan's body language, because sometimes the body whispers what the mouth leaves unsaid. What emerged as a steady thread, the kind a casual viewer might miss, but the attentive cannot unsee once noticed. The surprise here isn't a loud declaration or a shocking move. No. Often, the strongest signals come dressed in gentleness. We've seen, in interviews where Sinem's name comes up, how Ozan's carefully guarded composure shifts. He is known for restraint, for choosing words like a craftsman selects tools. Yet the mention of Sinem draws out a particular smile, the kind that lifts not just the lips but the eyes, not just the eyes but the posture. It's an expression that feels earned, not performed, an affection that reads as genuine, and an appreciation that doesn't need big gestures to feel big. For those who track his demeanor, that's surprising. Ozan doesn't throw compliments around. He is measured. When he speaks of Sinem, there's a tone that hums close to reverence. Remember that one interview when he was asked whether he'd work with her again? He kept it professional, yes, but there was that slight pause, that breath before the answer, the half-smile that seemed to slip out before he could tuck it away. The words were pragmatic, something like, "I would be happy to if the right project comes," but the subtext was unmistakable: this would not be a favor or a necessity, this would be a pleasure. For an actor of his discretion, one who chooses projects with care, that carries the weight of a rare compliment. Another unexpected element is how he opens up just a touch more when the subject is Sinem. The stories he shares are typically about the work, the long days that blur into night, the relentless repetition until the scene breathes the way it should. And yet, when he mentions her, there's a glow of camaraderie. It's said that on those extended days, Sinem's calm set the tone, and Ozan valued that equilibrium. For someone who's so often internally focused, her steadiness created a balance that elevated the experience. He found in her presence a quiet counterpoint, a partner in concentration. Here's where the surprise deepens: the implicit comparison with other co-stars. He rarely states it outright, he doesn't need to. The contrast lies in the shift of his body language. Talking generally about colleagues, he remains neutral, careful. But when the conversation leads, directly or obliquely, to Sinem, the atmosphere changes. His shoulders ease. His gestures widen. The voice warms. And should someone ask, which actress would you most like to share the screen with again? If Sinem isn't yet part of the prompt, he might answer broadly or step aside from specifics. But introduce her name, even indirectly, and there's that unmistakable spark. And then there's social media, that arena where the tiniest action becomes an anchor for 1,000 interpretations. Ozan isn't a relentless poster. He's selective, almost elusive. So when he likes a piece related to Sinem, a behind-the-scenes memory, a teaser, a thoughtful anniversary note posted by a teammate, it stands out. A brief comment here, a simple bravo there, and the fandom spins into analysis mode. Outsiders may roll their eyes at what seems trivial. Those who pay attention know better. Nothing in his public behavior is random. The rare actions he does take are meaningful, and they cluster in a way that makes it clear, Sinem is not just another colleague in his timeline of collaborators. She is firmly etched in his professional admiration and, perhaps, in a softer corner too. The surprise isn't scandal. It's sincerity. It's an actor known for discipline revealing warmth in tiny, visible ways. It's not a towering romance story or an icy rivalry, it's something more intricate, a gracious acknowledgement of someone he considers exceptional. Speaking about Sinem, a small light switches on inside him. You witness it. And once you do, you can't unsee it. We studied his interviews after their joint work, those wrap-up conversations where journalists ask about lessons learned in on-screen dynamics. Every time Sinem's name surfaces, praise follows. Professionalism. Dedication. The kind of chemistry you can't rehearse into existence. And although Ozan is a man of few adjectives, the ones he chooses for her feel carefully weighed, as if he wants to compress a great deal of esteem into very few syllables. Here's a point worth underlining: both are extraordinary performers. When two talents like this meet, good things happen on camera. But what moves us today is the magic just outside the frame, the way Ozan's composed exterior loosens when he talks about Sinem. Not with fireworks. With respect. With clarity. With that unforced appreciation that hints at how rare it is to find an equal who steadies your craft and illuminates your process. We could say Ozan's reaction is a masterclass in understatement: how to signal regard without overshadowing the work, how to honor a colleague without inviting noise. It's the kind of reaction that reminds us connections at the highest level are often built on the quiet brickwork of trust, shared standards, and mutual awe for the craft. And for the fans who adored seeing them together, this is reassuring. The energy you felt didn't materialize out of thin air. It was rooted in something real, in synergy. In the recognition that, side by side, they draw out a finer version of each other. That is not common. That is treasure. Let's rewind briefly. We explored Ozan Akbaba's intriguing reaction to Sinem Ünsal. We looked at how, despite his reserve, he consistently shows sincere admiration through small but telling cues: his particular smile, the softened tone, the relaxed stance, the precision of his words. We noted how his enthusiasm becomes clearer when she's part of the conversation, how the comparisons, though unspoken, are written across his gestures. We talked about those social media nods that, precisely because they're rare, carry weight. And we acknowledged that none of this screams scandal. Instead, it whispers something truer, a deep professional respect and, maybe, an affection that sits just beyond the edge of words. What does it mean for them on screen? It means that should the right script arrive, the possibility of another collaboration doesn't feel like a distant dream. If anything, his careful answers suggest the door is ajar. And if it happens, it won't be for the noise or the trend, it will be because story, timing, and trust align. Fans are ready. The industry is watching. And Ozan, with his thoughtful pauses and luminous half-smiles, has already told us more than he'll ever spell out directly. In the end, the surprise lies in the subtlety of the demonstration. How a measured actor reveals so much through very little. How admiration, restraint, and grace can unspool a narrative that is as compelling as any sensational headline. For those who read the quiet signs, this is more than enough. It's a portrait of two artists who, together, find a rhythm that feels both inevitable and rare. Now it's your turn. Did you catch the shift in Ozan when he's asked about Sinem Ünsal? Have you noticed the smile, the pause, the softening of the gaze? Tell us. I love hearing how you read these moments and what you think they mean. Drop your thoughts below. And if this deep dive resonated with you, don't forget to tap like, share this video with friends who adore Ozan Akbaba and Sinem Ünsal, and subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Turn on notifications so you're always first to know when we uncover the next story behind the story. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. I'll see you in the next video, where the whispers continue, and the stars, as always, have more to say if you know where to look.